The survey vessel, Celestial Harmony, floated quietly at the edge of the solar system. Through the large viewing window, Commander Tay watched the small blue planet grow larger on the screen. His four-fingered hand moved across the control panel, adjusting the scan settings. "Run another full analysis," he ordered, his silver eyes narrowing at the readings. Science Officer June nodded, her thin frame hunched over her station. "Yes, Commander." The bridge of the ship was silent except for the soft beeping of machines. The crew of 12 worked at their stations, all members of the Stellar Confederation, all from worlds where life was easy and gentle. Results confirmed. "Commander," June said after a moment, "third planet shows nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, high levels of carbon dioxide. Temperature ranges from extreme cold to extreme heat. Gravity at 1.0 Wg. Water covers most of the surface. Active geology with frequent earthquakes and volcanic activity. Diverse biological life, including many predator species." Tay shook his head. "Class 5 Deathworld. Mark it as uninhabitable." "Sir," June's voice changed, becoming higher, "I'm detecting artificial structures, metal, concrete, glass, spanning the entire planet." Tay turned sharply. "That's not possible. Nothing intelligent evolves on a Class 5. "There's more," June continued. "Electromagnetic signals, billions of them. Radio waves, digital transmissions, they're everywhere." The navigator, Officer Bay, spoke up from his station. "Sir, should we move closer?" Tay hesitated. In 20 years of space exploration, he had never encountered intelligent life on a world this hostile. Most species in the Confederation came from perfect worlds with mild weather, low gravity, and few dangers. "Proceed with caution," he ordered. "Activate full shields." The Celestial Harmony moved closer to Earth, staying hidden behind the planet's moon. The main screen showed images of the blue world, clouds swirling over vast oceans, and green-brown landmasses. "Magnify," Tay ordered. The screen zoomed in on a large city. Tall buildings reached toward the sky. Vehicles moved along roads. Small figures walked on streets. "They're bipedal," June said, excitement in her voice. "Similar body structure to many Confederation species, but much denser. Based on gravity readings, they must have strong skeletal systems." Security Chief Kwan looked concerned. "How could they survive? The atmospheric pressure alone would crush most species we know." "Let's find out," Tay said. "Begin passive monitoring, intercept their communications, learn their languages. I want to know everything about these. What do they call themselves?" June studied her screen. "Based on their most common transmissions, they call themselves humans and their planet Earth. For 3 days, the ship remained hidden, collecting data. The crew watched with growing amazement as they learned about the humans. They live everywhere," June reported during the daily briefing. "In frozen regions where temperatures drop below freezing, in deserts where heat would kill most Confederation species, in areas with dangerous weather patterns like hurricanes and tornadoes. Their medical records show incredible resilience," added Medical Officer Maini. "They survive injuries that would be fatal to us. Their bones break and heal stronger. Their skin repairs itself. They have internal systems that filter toxins." Tay studied the images of humans going about their daily lives, completely unaware they were living on what the rest of the galaxy would consider a death trap. "Most fascinating," said cultural specialist Doe, "is their history. They've fought wars against each other. They've survived plagues. They've endured natural disasters. Instead of being destroyed, they always come back stronger." Tay made his decision. "Send our findings to Confederation Command. Request permission for first contact." "Sir," Kwan objected, "is that wise? We know nothing about their temperament. A species that evolved in such harsh conditions might be naturally aggressive." Tay looked at the screen, showing a human family walking through a park, the adults holding the hands of a small child. "Or they might have developed cooperation and compassion as survival traits," he countered. "Either way, they've achieved something remarkable. They've made an uninhabitable world their home." The message was sent. 1 week later, the reply came from Confederation Command. First contact approved. As the Celestial Harmony prepared to reveal itself to Earth, Commander Tay looked at his crew. "Remember this moment," he told them. "We thought we knew which worlds could support intelligent life. These humans have proven us wrong. I wonder what else they will teach us. The ship's engines hummed as they set course for Earth, ready to meet the species that had achieved the impossible. The day the alien ship appeared over Seoul changed everything. It simply appeared in the morning sky, a sleek silver vessel the size of a small building, hovering silently above the city center. Within hours, the area was surrounded by military vehicles, news crews, and thousands of curious onlookers. Inside the United Nations temporary headquarters, established in a nearby government building, Ambassador Hyun adjusted his tie nervously. At 53, he had never expected to become Earth's first official representative to an alien species. Yet here he was, waiting with a team of scientists, linguists, and government officials. "They're coming down now," said General Park, watching. The monitor that showed a small shuttle detaching from the main ship. Hyun took a deep breath. "Remember, everyone, calm and friendly. This is the most important moment in human history." The shuttle landed gently in the clearing that had been prepared. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then a door slid open, and 3 figures emerged. The aliens were shorter than humans, about 5 feet tall with slender bodies and large silver eyes. But what shocked everyone was that they were wearing full-body environmental suits with clear helmets that showed their bluish skin and delicate features. "They need protection from our environment," whispered Dr. Kim, the chief scientist. "Interesting." The delegation walked out to meet the visitors, stopping a respectful distance away. One alien stepped forward, raising a hand in what appeared to be a greeting. "Welcome to Earth," Hyun said clearly. A small device on the alien's suit glowed, and then a gentle voice emerged, speaking perfect Korean. "I am First Contact Specialist Day of the Galactic Confederation. We come in peace and friendship." The formalities took place in the prepared meeting room. Humans sat on one side of a long table, aliens on the other. The visitors never removed their protective suits. "Is our atmosphere harmful to you?" Hyun finally asked. Day tilted her head. "What you breathe would cause our respiratory systems to fail within minutes. Your gravity strains our bodies. Your microorganisms would be deadly to us." The humans exchanged glances. "Then why come here at all?" asked Dr. Kim. "Because you are unique," Day replied. "You are the only known intelligent species to evolve on what we classify as a Class 5 death world." "A death world?" Hyun repeated. "Planets are classified by habitability," explained Day. "Class 1 worlds are paradise planets. Perfect temperature, low gravity, no predators, abundant resources. Most spacefaring species come from Class 1 or 2 worlds." She gestured around. "Earth is Class 5, the most extreme category. High gravity, atmospheric toxins, temperature extremes, natural disasters, abundant predators, and pathogens." General Park frowned. "This is just normal to us." "Exactly," said Day. "What is normal to you would kill most species in the Confederation. Your children play in conditions that would require our emergency workers to wear full protection." The meeting continued for hours. The aliens explained they had discovered Earth 6 years earlier and had been studying human broadcasts and internet communications to learn languages and customs before making contact. Later, as the formal talks concluded, Hyun walked with Dae toward the shuttle. Even through her protective suit, he could see her cautious movements, the way she seemed to struggle slightly with Earth's gravity. "Tomorrow, we would like to show you more of our world," he said. "Is there anything you would like to see?" Dakyo paused. "Your oceans. On our worlds, large bodies of water are calm and clear. We've observed that yours have something called waves." Hyun smiled. "Yes. Would you like to see the beach?" "From a safe distance," Day replied quickly. The next day, the human delegation took their visitors to a coastal area. The aliens stood at a viewing platform, watching in fascination as waves crashed against the shore. Children played in the sand, some splashing in the water. "Those small humans," Day said, pointing to the children. "They are deliberately entering the water that could sweep them away." "They're playing," Hyun explained. "It's safe if you know how to swim." "Swimming," Day repeated the word. "Deliberately immersing yourself in a substance that could fill your lungs and cause death." Hyun hadn't thought of it that way before. I suppose humans have always adapted to our challenges, instead of avoiding them. Day turned to look at him, her silver eyes blinking behind her helmet. That is why we are here, Ambassador. The Confederation has much to teach humanity about the stars, but I believe humanity has much to teach us about survival. As the sun set over the ocean, humans and aliens stood together, two species from vastly different worlds, beginning to understand just how different and how important those differences might be. 3 years after first contact, Earth had changed dramatically. Alien technology had helped solve many problems. Clean energy from Confederation designs powered cities. New medicines saved lives. In return, humans shared their music, art, and remarkable ability to adapt. Director Sung sat in her office at the Earth Space Agency headquarters, reviewing reports from the first human trade mission to the Confederation core worlds. A soft chime interrupted her work. "Director, urgent transmission from the Galactic Confederation," her assistant announced. Sung straightened her jacket and activated the large screen on her wall. The face that appeared belonged to Counselor Jin, one of the highest-ranking officials. In the Confederation, even through the screen, Sung could see his distress. "Counselor Jin, this is unexpected," she said. "Director Sung, I come with terrible news." Jin's voice trembled slightly. "There has been a catastrophic industrial accident on Harmony Prime." Sung leaned forward. Harmony Prime was one of the Confederation's most important worlds, home to over 30 million people. "What happened?" she asked. "A failure in our atmospheric processing centers. The safeguards failed. Toxic compounds have been released into the air across the main continent." Jin's large eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of extreme stress in his species. "The contamination is spreading faster than we can evacuate." "How many people are affected?" "Millions. We've already lost thousands. Our environmental teams cannot function in the contaminated zones, even with our best protective equipment." Jin's image was replaced by footage of the disaster. Smoke billowed from damaged facilities. The air had a yellowish tint. Confederation emergency workers in bulky suits collapsed as they tried to reach victims. "What are the conditions in the affected areas?" Sung asked, already reaching for her tablet to take notes. "Oxygen levels at 30%, nitrogen compounds at toxic levels, ambient radiation at 2.3 millirems per hour, temperature fluctuations of 15 degrees. Completely unsurvivable." Sung stopped writing and stared at Jin when his face reappeared on screen. "Counselor, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but those conditions, they're less extreme than what many humans work in daily." Jin's expression changed to confusion. "What do you mean?" "Mining operations, disaster response teams, even some manufacturing facilities on Earth have more extreme conditions than what you're describing. Humans can function in those environments with minimal protection." "That's not possible," Jin whispered. It is, Sung replied firmly. "And it means we can help. Let me gather my team and prepare a response plan." Within 24 hours, the first human crisis response team was boarding a Confederation transport ship. 50 specialists in environmental cleanup, medical response, and infrastructure repair stood in the loading bay, carrying Earth equipment. Modified to work with alien technology, Team Commander Min briefed his people one last time. "Remember, the locals cannot survive in the affected areas. They're counting on us to do what they cannot. Standard breathing filters should be sufficient, but carry your backup systems at all times." The journey to Harmony Prime took 3 days in the faster-than-light ship. When they arrived, the situation had worsened. The toxic cloud now covered 60% of the main continent. From the orbital station, Confederation officials watched in disbelief as the humans prepared to descend to the surface. "You cannot go down there," protested Safety Officer Wu. "Our best teams failed. The conditions are lethal." Min checked his simple breathing mask and gloves. "With all respect, what's lethal to your people is just uncomfortable to mine. We've trained for this." "But you're not even wearing full environmental suits," Wu said, staring at the humans' lightweight protective gear. "We don't need them," Min explained patiently. "Our bodies can handle the radiation levels. The temperature is within our tolerance range, and these masks will filter the air enough for us to breathe." The Confederation officials watched in stunned silence as the humans boarded their shuttle. On the surface, the scene was chaotic. Abandoned vehicles littered the streets of the main city. Buildings stood empty. The yellow haze made visibility poor. Team 1 set up the air scrubbers, Min ordered through his mask. Team 2 find the main processing facility and assess damage. Medical team begin searching for survivors. The humans moved with confidence through the lethal environment, carrying equipment and checking buildings. To them, this was not much different from responding to a chemical spill on Earth. From the safety of their orbital station, the Confederation officials watched the humans work. For the first time, they truly understood what it meant to evolve on a Deathworld. They're not just surviving down there, Wu said softly. They're thriving. As night fell on Harmony Prime, the first air scrubbers came online, creating zones of cleaner air. The humans had made more progress in 6 hours than the Confederation had in 3 days, and they were just getting started. Team leader Sue wiped sweat from her forehead as she adjusted the large air processor. The machine hummed to life, its filters beginning to pull toxins from Harmony Prime's contaminated atmosphere. This was the 12th unit her team had installed today. Around her, 50 human engineers and scientists worked in what the Confederation considered deadly conditions. Filter system online, she reported into her communicator. Sector 8 is now processing at full capacity. Good work, Commander. Min's voice crackled back. How's your team holding up? Sue looked around at her colleagues. They wore simple breathing masks and protective gloves, but otherwise looked like ordinary workers on any Earth construction site. Some were tired, but all were functional. We're fine, she replied. The radiation levels are lower than what we dealt with after the Pacific disaster back home. Engineer Bin approached, carrying a tablet with readings. The contamination is dropping in sectors 3 through 7, he reported. The biofiltration system is working better than expected. Sue nodded. The local plant species adapt quickly. Once we modified them to process the toxins, they've been working harder than our mechanical systems. This had been their breakthrough. When the mechanical air processors couldn't keep up with the spread of contamination, Sue had suggested using Harmony Prime's own plant life as natural filters. Her team had quickly edited the plant's genetic structure to enhance their natural filtering abilities. In orbit above the planet, the Confederation scientists watched the humans' progress through monitoring drones. They had set up an observation center where they could study the human techniques without risking their lives. They've been working for 16 hours straight, Scientist Yoon said, her voice filled with disbelief, in conditions that killed our emergency teams in minutes. Medical Officer Gill studied the bio readings they were receiving from the humans' health monitors. Their bodies are incredible adaptation machines. Their lungs filter particulates. Their skin blocks most radiation. Their kidneys and liver process toxins that would kill us instantly. And they evolved these traits naturally, asked Yoon Gill. Nodded. Earth forced them to develop these adaptations over millions of years. What we see as a hostile death trap, they see as home. On the surface, Sue's team had moved to the main processing facility, the source of the disaster. The building was partially collapsed, with dangerous chemicals still leaking from broken tanks. This is where our people failed, said the Confederation engineer Ho, speaking from the safety of a sealed observation room. The combination of structural damage and toxic exposure was too much. Sue studied the facility plans. We'll need to seal the main leak first, then stabilize the building. Ho looked alarmed, but the structure could collapse at any moment. We've dealt with worse after earthquakes, Sue said simply. Bin, get the support team ready. Lee, prepare the neutralizing compound. The humans moved with practiced efficiency. Some positioned temporary supports to hold up the failing structure. Others prepared specialized foam that would harden and seal the chemical leaks. Within hours, they had contained the worst of the damage. As they worked, Sue had an idea. She called the orbital station. I need to speak with your agricultural scientists, she requested. Soon she was explaining her plan to a startled Confederation biology team. These plants you use for oxygen production, we can modify them to process the specific toxins in your atmosphere. But the modification process takes years of careful work, protested the alien scientist. On Earth, we've been doing emergency bioremediation for decades, Sue explained. After our own environmental disasters, we learned to work faster. The next day, the first batch of modified plants was ready. The humans spread them across the most contaminated zones, creating living filters that would clean the air and soil naturally. By the end of the week, the air in the main city was breathable again for the Confederation species. The humans had accomplished in days what the aliens had thought would take years. In the temporary command center, Commander Min met with Confederation leaders who had returned to the surface. They still wore thin protective suits, but at least they could walk their own planet again. "How can we ever repay this debt?" asked Governor Ran. Min shook his head. "There's no debt. We helped because we could." "But why risk your lives for us? We were strangers just 3 years ago." Min thought for a moment. "On Earth we have a saying, the true test of civilization is how we treat those in need. Your conditions were harsh to you, but manageable for us. It would have been wrong not to help." As more humans arrived with additional equipment and expertise, the aliens watched with new understanding. The very traits that made humans terrifying, their ability to endure pain, resist toxins, and function in extreme conditions, also made them the perfect allies in a crisis. What the Confederation had once viewed as a species of potential monsters, from a Deathworld, they now saw as the most valuable friends in the galaxy. The Grand Hall of the Confederation sparkled with light from 1,000 floating crystals. Representatives from 80 different species sat in curved rows, all eyes fixed on the entrance doors. Today was historic. Earth would be formally welcomed into the Galactic Confederation. The doors slid open. Ambassador Hyun entered wearing a simple dark suit with Earth's new emblem, a blue planet with stars around it. What caused gasps throughout the hall was that Hyun wore no protective suit. He was the first non-Confederation being to ever breathe the air of the Grand Hall directly. Behind him walked 20 human representatives, similarly unprotected. They moved confidently through air that would have been considered too thin for them just months ago. After working on Harmony Prime, human scientists had developed adaptations that let them function comfortably in Confederation standard atmospheres. High Counselor Wan rose from her seat at the center of the hall. Unlike most of her kind, she wore only a thin breathing filter rather than a full suit, a gesture of respect toward the humans. "Ambassador Hyun," she said, her voice carried through the hall by hidden speakers, "the Confederation extends its deepest gratitude. Harmony Prime lives again. You have saved millions of our people." Hyun bowed slightly. "Earth is honored to have helped. We face our own environmental challenges at home. We've learned to adapt and overcome." "The Confederation Council has reached a unanimous decision," one continued. "Earth is formally invited to join the Confederation, not as junior members, but as full and equal partners." The hall erupted in soft, chiming sounds, the Confederation equivalent of applause. Hyun accepted a crystal tablet, the official document of membership. "Furthermore," one added, "we have reclassified Earth. No longer will it be called a death world. It is now recognized as the cradle of resilience, the planet that forged humanity's greatest strengths." After the ceremony, a celebration began. The Great Hall transformed into a space where humans and aliens mingled. Special areas with different atmospheric conditions allowed all species to relax safely. In one corner, Hyun found himself speaking with High Counselor Won, who had removed her breathing filter now that she was in a protected bubble. "When we first discovered your world, we thought nothing intelligent could survive there," Won admitted. "We were wrong in ways we couldn't imagine." Hyun smiled. "Earth has never been kind to us. We've faced ice ages, plagues, natural disasters, but each challenge made us stronger. The rescue of Harmony Prime has changed how the Confederation sees humans," one said. "Many feared you at first, creatures from a nightmare world who could survive conditions that would kill us. Now they understand that same strength makes you uniquely valuable allies." Across the room, Engineer Su demonstrated Earth equipment to fascinated alien scientists. Commander Min shared stories with Confederation military leaders. Dr. Kim explained human medical techniques to alien physicians. "There is something we wish to offer Earth," one said quietly to Hyun. "Our scientists have developed technology that could make Earth more like Confederation worlds. Calmer weather, fewer natural disasters, more stable conditions. Hyun looked surprised. You would change our planet? Only if humans wished it, Won clarified. Many thought you would want Earth to be easier. Hyun considered this for a moment, then shook his head. Thank you, but no. Earth's challenges shaped us into who we are. Future generations should have the same opportunity to grow strong. One's large eyes blinked in understanding. I thought you might say that. There is wisdom in your choice. Later that evening, Hyun stood at a viewing window looking out at the stars. Earth was out there, a tiny blue dot around a yellow star. So small, yet so important. He felt someone approach and turn to see Day, the first contact specialist who had first landed on Earth 3 years ago. I remember how afraid I was to step onto your world, she said. Now humans walk freely among us. Things change quickly. Some things don't change, Hyun replied. The universe remains dangerous. Planets die. Stars explode. Species face extinction. True, Day agreed. But now the Confederation understands something it didn't before. Comfort doesn't create strength, challenge does. Beyond the window, a transport ship prepared to depart for Harmony Prime. Inside were hundreds of human specialists who had volunteered to help rebuild the damaged world. They would teach the locals how to prepare for future disasters, how to become more resilient. That's the thing about living on a death world, Hyun said. You learn that survival isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about facing them together. In the centuries that followed, humans would spread throughout the Confederation, always ready to go where others could not, to face dangers others feared. What had once made them outsiders now made them essential. The species that turned uninhabitable worlds into homes, impossible problems into opportunities. The Deathworlders had become the galaxy's greatest hope,